Hi, this is Phil Taylor. I'm in Zürich in Switzerland for Next Universe 2, sitting down for an interview with Kidson.
Hi Phil, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
Very good, very excited to be here. It's quite overwhelming, to be honest, to be playing on this lineup with so many good names. So very excited, a little apprehensive, if I'm honest. But
how do you mean apprehensive?
It's one of the biggest lineups I've been a part of. I've been, on quite a few lineups over the last couple of years, but only one or two that are kind of this level. So yeah, I'm just quite pleased to be here, to say the least. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good collection of names.
Yeah.
What can we expect from your set tonight?
It's going to be a mixture of my own stuff, some brand new, unreleased stuff that I've got recently on promo, some of my favourite tracks over the last sort of month or so, and I'm going to throw a good few classics in, some new reworks of some of my favourite classics, and a couple of sort of big school classics. Hopefully no one else will play.
Now, speaking of reworks, I know you did a very exclusive rework for tonight, right?
Yeah, it's my Power Cut rework for Next Universe, exclusive for the night. It's obviously my Bowdidge Taylor track with Matt, one of my most successful tracks, I think. So yeah, I made that sort of month or so ago, and the preview on SoundCloud's been doing very well. I've already got some good support on it, actually, from the likes of Brian Kearney and a few other big names. So yeah, looking forward to playing that.
How did you approach the track for a rework?
Well, obviously I already had all the main parts for the track, and it's something, to be honest, that I've been wanting to do since the original was made. I was just sort of waiting for the right time to do it, and I thought this was probably it, with a big gig like this. I mean, a lot of people may not know a lot of my other tracks, but I think this one maybe stands out for me as one of the ones that they might know. So I thought it was a good way of saying, yeah, this is who I am, sort of thing.
How did you, if we go back to the beginning, how did you get into trance itself and producing and DJing?
Going right back, it was just a sort of hardcore clubber, really into Tiesto, sort of pre-2008, before he turned into what he is now. But yeah, just real hardcore clubbing. I've got a real good group of friends who have always been into this sort of music, so it was kind of just a love for clubbing that got me into it, and that kind of led on to getting some decks, which originally I only did really just to play at house parties. I never really thought in a million years that I'd be sitting down doing this sort of thing. That wasn't the reason I got into it. That's it, really. Just a real passion for the music, for the clubbing.
How did you meet Matt Bowdidge, and how come you guys started working together?
It's quite a good story. In Ibiza, 2007, I was in Amnesia during an Arm and Only set, and it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had my sunglasses on. I think Matt had his sunglasses on, and we just got talking, and that was it, really. I think we just stayed in touch, and I ended up going over to Australia and basically living with him for about 6 months, and that's kind of how we hit it off. And then he come over to the UK, and that's when we really sort of got started on the Bowdidge Taylor stuff together. Yeah.
In the studio, like, who does what, or how do you guys work together?
Matt brings a lot of the melody side, to be honest. He's very good with ideas for new melodies, new ideas. He's always took a lead with that. I think I pride myself on the work I do around ideas for bass lines and different drops and things like that. I think I'd like to think maybe I brought the techy edge to our tracks in the first place. The big powerful techy drop in Power Cut. That was kind of my thing back then. I'm kind of softening up a little bit, maybe as I'm getting a little bit older. But I'm real enjoying sort of powerful, euphoric melodies now, rather than the real dirty, techy stuff. But still love that, but I'm really enjoying the melody side of things now. You know, like James Diamond and things like that. Really, really talented fella. So, yeah.
How do you work in the studio if you create an original track? Where do you start?
Where would I start with an original? Same place I think a lot of other people start, just with the very basic stuff. Just kick, percussion, start working on a bass line, and then I tend to just see where the track takes me. I'm not one of those people who would try and start with a melody and then base the track around that. I know some people do that, but it's just never worked for me. But I'm all about trying new ideas. It's good to get in a studio with different people who, you can share your ideas, and that's kind of where I've been at over the last few years. I've just been trying to get around as many different producers as possible. I mean, I've been collaborating with quite a few different people. I'm still learning myself. It's just good to get in the studio with as many people as possible, pick ideas up, pick new skills up.
So speaking about collaborations, I know you recently finished 2 tracks with Peter Plesnik.
Yeah. I think it's going back about a year or so, actually. But I know that it's been re-released on one of Peter's compilations that he's doing. It's a Discover Dark compilation. But yeah, really enjoyed that project. He uses Logic as well, so that was all online based. But absolutely love Peter's sound. But yeah, I mean, more current collaborations I've been working on. I've been in the studio recently with Acid Test, who have some amazing stuff coming out on Mental Asylum and Monster Tunes, and we're about 90% through that now. I was hoping I might have that finished for tonight, but unfortunately not. We got about 95% of the way through it, and then decided to go back to about 25%, stripped it apart and started again. But that tends to happen. Also, I've got something in the making with Robbie Van Doe, backwards and forwards with that one, and also Liam Melly over in Ireland. He's now joined Space Brothers, which is amazing for him, and he's a very talented fella. So yeah, some good collaborations happening, and again, I think it's definitely the best way to learn, for me anyway, and I think a lot of people would agree.
How would you describe the Phil Taylor sound, the production sound? Is it changing now that you have grown older, as we talked about before?
Yeah, I think early on, as you'll hear with one of my very early songs, tracks that was released on Fraction, it's called Ransacked. I put a clip up on my Facebook the other day, and that's just full on, just dirty, techy, acid. There's no actual melody whatsoever to it, and that's what it was all about, for me a few years ago. And again, I think that influence comes from the clubbing side of me, just being at the front 5 o'clock in the morning and wanting to hear that sort of stuff. But I think, as I'm getting a bit older, I'm taking a little bit of a step back from the clubbing side of things now. I've obviously got a child and things like that, and another one on the way, actually. So
congratulations to that.
Thank you. Yeah, due in April. So probably good time to grow up a little bit. But yeah, definitely more of a melodic kind of direction that I want to go from now on. I mean, still keeping the dirty, techy sounds in there, and definitely keeping it above 138 for now.
So far, I mean, what have been some of your highlights of your musical career?
I would definitely have to say Argentina. I played a couple of really good gigs in Argentina about a year or so ago. And I think highlight of that would have to be I played a 6-hour set in Buenos Aires, which was unbelievable. I didn't come on till must have been about 3 o'clock in the morning, so didn't finish till sort of nearly 9. That was good. Had me jumping down off the stage into the crowd at about 7:30. Loved that. That was definitely a highlight. And I think my set on the submerged boat party. I was on the River Thames in London. That was live on After Hours, actually. That was another highlight alongside James Diamond and Ben Nicky, people like that.
Do you have any solo productions coming up?
Yeah, I've got one I'm working on at the moment, and it's still fairly early stages. Obviously just finished. I've just had a release called Tabula Rasa on Monster Force, which did very well. Got ASOT support, as tracks have to do these days to do well. But yeah, I've got another one in the making similar to Tabula Rasa. So I'm just going to push the Power Cut remix in December as a free download. Hopefully get another signing release, hopefully around January. Keep the momentum going. I think it's important, I think, for DJs, producers, to keep momentum. And it's something I've found a little difficult over the last year, maybe, with having a child. You know, had real good momentum going. Child came along, puts a bit of a spanner in the works, but, you know, I've got a very supporting wife, and she doesn't mind me spending all these hours locked away. So, yeah, I think it's game on again now. I'm going to have to step it up in 2015, get a few releases out there. Yeah.
We received a question from Daniel. If you could swap roles with the well-known dart player called Phil the Power Taylor, what track would you use for your entrance music?
What, one of my own tracks, you mean?
No, I think you can choose from whatever you want.
Okay. If I was to be Phil the Power Taylor, the darts player, I could choose any track.
Yeah, as your entrance music, which one would it be?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Wow. Okay.
And you feel free to edit or create your own version of something as well.
Okay. I mean, there's a TV show in England called Bullseye, so possibly I might do a rework of Bullseye, something like that. Maybe come out to that, do a 140 remix of it. Yeah, something like that. Right.
So what else can we expect from Phil Taylor in the future?
Like I said before, I think plenty of more collaborations, as that's a sort of focus for me. It has been a focus over the last year or so, and that's, you know, to get good tracks out there, to obviously to build on my own skills. I mean, I like getting in the studio with different people, so you'll definitely see some more collaborations over the next year or so. Like I was saying, just to step my own stuff up, really. I think, like I said, it's been a bit quiet for me over the last year, production-wise. You know, one or two, but I think it's time to really get back into that.